Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's 100 degrees here in Texas and I've got a special treat for you. Today I've got a unique disc throwdown using only two Lone Star discs, the Frio and the Mockingbird. What I'll be doing today is a best throw round where I'll throw these both off the tee every single time. I'm actually going to lead off with the Mockingbird each time, follow it up with the Frio to show you the two different stabilities, and I'll take the best of the throws, and then I'll use two other discs here for my upshots. One is going to be the Harpoon. This is one that I purchased about a month ago and it's been in my bag since. And the other one will be this Jackrabbit. Both of these are in the Victor 2 plastic, which is their harder plastic. And just so you know, all three of these discs I bought from Big Flicks DG, which is the little shop that ran the tournament where I won 60 bucks. I was the first place winner there. I was the winner. I guess that automatically presumes first place. And with the winnings, I bought these three discs. So I'm going to do a round where I compare these two discs. We're going to have a throwdown because I love that series and a lot of my fans seem to enjoy it. So let's go ahead and get started. Both of these discs are in Alpha plastic. The course here at Cypresswood is in great shape. It looks like that mowed basically everywhere, so it should be easier to find these discs. And now the Frio. Ooh, beefy boy. I did throw that on a little bit of hyzer, but I can tell it did not want to flip up at all. All four of these discs I'm going to be using in this video are at max weight. Got the Jackrabbit. I'm going to try and approach. I'm about 100 feet away, 120 maybe. All right, that's a putt. Now here's a Harpoon. I want to throw it just to see what it does. Not bad. Actually, you know what? Let's do a best throw round as far as the approach discs too. Since we're going to do a disc throw down, and I'm never limited to just two discs on a disc throw down, let's try putts from, you know, whichever locations we get. So I'm going to throw these on each upshots most of the time, probably. That was a little worrisome. Oh, that wasn't even the closest lie. Also, just to note, I'm not actually scoring this round in U-disc. I'm just scoring it for the sake of the video. And really, I'm just showing the flight, so I may not even put a scoreboard. I really just want to throw these two discs. I bought them. I essentially won them. I want to throw them. That was the Mockingbird. Oh, heck yeah, dude. Straight for the basket. And now that I know this Frio is pretty stable, this is 175 grams. The Mockingbird's 172, and the other two are like 175. Oh, I didn't anhyzer that at all. I threw it, it felt like dead flat. So yeah, it's very stable. Okay, so real talk, on this hole, I threw that basically a straight shot towards the basket. The Frio was about 80 feet to the left, but it was almost as parallel with this, so I put a good rip on it so it got a good amount of distance. But I would say so far this is probably a little bit more stable than a typical leopard, like in the end of a line. I would say it's a little bit more neutral. In my case, I would say this is probably closer to -1 in my hands, and that Frio is more like 0.2 in my hands. It's just a little more stable, but it's a brand new disc in the most premium plastic that they have, one of the most premium plastics. Got a Jackrabbit. Heck yeah. And now the Harpoon. This is very much like a Zone Toro type disc. It's definitely stable. Nice. Okay, so both of these are basically tap ends. So the experience I've gained in throwing the Harpoon, I've become a lot more comfortable with throwing it, so I'm used to it by now. And this Jackrabbit, I'm getting used to, and I think it makes a great putting putter as well as overstable approach disc. It's not too overstable. So let's take a look at the profile of these discs. You can see that the Mockingbird is a little bit more domey, and it's got a little bit more of an aerodynamic edge to it. The Frio is a little bit more flat topped, less domey. compared to the Mockingbird, and a little bit more of a blunter rim. That's what makes it more overstable. And I have to say, this actually flies a lot like a Maverick. If you're familiar with that disc from Dynamic Discs, it's kind of in that slot. So very long distance fairway driver for someone at my level, which is great. Freaking insane. I can see why Sean likes it so much. All right, beefy boy. I tried slight anhyzer, but regardless, it has significant fade at the end. All right, so I've got the Jackrabbit. Ooh, all righty. Okay, this is a particularly long hole, and I've got a little bit of a headwind, so I need to put it on maybe a little more hyzer. And the basket is behind that bush, 340 feet away. I'll take it. Okay, now I'm going to try the Frio. Love that stability. Okay, this wasn't even close because I threw a really good throw with this Frio and a bad one with the Mockingbird. I got a lot closer to the basket. I'm about 100 feet out. I got a putt. Oh yeah, I need to throw a Harpoon. Let's see what this does. Even better. All right, well, I definitely like the way this is turning out. These are turning out to be pretty legit discs in my opinion. Not a sponsor. Ooh, Nelly, check this out. Got a little bit of a right to left wind. That's gonna be great for the Mockingbird, but the Frio, I'm gonna have to anhyzer, get some sort of flex to keep it remotely in the fairway. Absolutely crushed it with that Mockingbird. All right, this one can go off the hit rails real quick because I don't have the distance with it that I do with the Mockingbird. That said, bit of a crush. Okay, so there's the Frio there, and given the conditions, the far better throw and the far better disc to throw for me in that situation was this Mockingbird. There's the basket. I have a feeling this would be a different story if I was throwing into a headwind, but I'm happy with what I'm at. Oh yeah, easy putt. And now for giggles, let's try the Harpoon. Even better. Alrighty, so I'm very happy the way this worked out. It'd be a much harder par if I took the Frio's throw. Okay, so now the wind dies down when I want to throw the overstable plastic into the wind. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this Mockingbird. This is my nemesis hole. Disclaimer, if I hit these trees, I'm going to re-throw because the point is to show what these discs look like in the air, not hitting a tree 20 feet in front of me. And if it does hit a tree, I'll show you if I see any damage on the disc. Heck yeah. I have a feeling if I threw the Frio on that line, I'd probably fade out a little bit that way, but it might even gain more distance. Not sure if you can see it. This is where I hit it. There's no damage to the plastic, but there's a little bit of dirt scuffed on it. So I'd say this passes. Let me go ahead and try again, but slow down. Kind of lost track of what I was doing. There we go, that's what Daddy wants. Nice. Okay, so here's the Mockingbird right here, edge of circle. And here's the Frio, also edge of circle. But I think the Frio is maybe a couple feet closer, so I'm gonna putt from there. Okay, so I measured from here to the pole. The Mockingbird was 34 feet away. This is 28 feet away, so this is an obvious choice to putt from. Also, notice that there's a hillside behind it. I can run that putt more aggressive knowing that it's gonna hit the ground and not go as far. Whereas if I threw from there, It's basically a free ride down a slight slope. All right, we've reached hole 7, my second nemesis hole on this course. They're twins apparently. Just to be honest, the way I normally play this is with a flat mid-range to about half distance. That's what my play is. Whether or not that's what my body actually does is something different. But look what I'm doing for you guys. I'm throwing a couple fairway drivers down a ill-advised path. To be fair, that's as far as I get with my Mako 3. Okay, here we go again. We're now facing the orientation where the wind is picked back up and it's right to left. So I have to anti-flex this. And because it has some stability, I just gotta hope it fades, that I get it through the tunnel and that it fades at a place where I have a good upshot from. Yes, I put anhyzer on it. A slight bit. Oh my God, that is such a great throw. I'm starting to dial things in with the Frio. Okay, it kills me to do this, but I'm gonna take this Mockingbird lie. That Frio is a much better lie. I've got a short hyzered upshot to the basket and a possible run at the basket, but I can't get a good camera angle. So I'm gonna throw from this Mockingbird and just see what I can do from here. Yes, sir. And you know what? I think I am gonna try from over there. Let's just see what it looks like. Okay, I'm looking at basically a 60-foot throw from this Frio. Here's the Frio here, and I've got a line out for the basket I'm gonna go for. I'll take it. Just a bit outside. And for good measure, okay, now we've arrived at a hole that's perfectly suited for the Frio, provided that I throw it correctly. That said, I'm going to lead off with the Mockingbird again. I just want it down the fairway. One of the best throws I've ever made in this hole. And now my nerves are up because I think this has the potential to be the best disc for this hole if I can execute. I'm happy with that throw. Oh man, if I didn't tickle that branch, this Frio would have been a lot closer to this Mockingbird. That said, the way I threw this Mockingbird was perfect. This is about as far as I can possibly expect to ever get on this hole. So I think for me, the reason I'm getting close to my max distance with this disc is simply because I spend a lot more time throwing extremely flat / neutral discs, Leopard, FD, a few other discs in that range. And so I just have a higher competency level with this type of disc. The Frio is more like a T-Bird, Athena, Honor or Grace. I can't remember which one of those that's the 7-speed. I'm blanking at the moment because it's, 100 degrees. But I think if I had a little more power and I was better at doing either flat, slight anti-flex shots, I think I could get more distance out of that Frio than this. But right now for my game, this is the distance champ. I'm a good 150 out. So this is probably not the best disc given the, well, I've got a tailwind right to left cross. Let's just see what happens. I can't complain, but I will. Just kidding. Let's try this Harpoon. I want to see what this looks like. I'm gonna do slight anti and see if it'll fade towards the end. All right, well, as you know, I'm a rec level disc golfer. I don't throw more than 300 feet on the course really, and my throws just don't have that consistency of a higher skilled player. That said, my putting's not half bad. Oh, maybe it's all half bad. All bad? Okay, well, back to even on this non-scored best throw round where I'm focusing mostly on fairway drivers. Unfortunately, due to the position of the sun, I've had to orient the camera a little differently. Also, the wind is kind of kicking up with the left to right wind, so that's going to play a little bit of havoc here. That said, let's just get these discs through this gap. Well, that's a rip. I tried anti-flexing it a little bit and I don't think I got the right angle on it. All right, as you probably expect by now, that Frio is here, and right over here is the Mockingbird. I'm just getting more distance out of the Mockingbird because at my skill level, this is what I get more distance with. Okay, per Bushnell, I'm 210 feet away from the basket. I would normally throw a slow mid-range here or a faster approach disc that's more neutral. I have a feeling this is going to be a maximum distance rip for me with this Jackrabbit to even get to there, given my skill level. So yeah, that's about as good as I can get. It's not pin high. I'm probably edge of circle. Okay, per Bushnell, I'm 42 feet from the basket. I've only got one chance because I've got one putter to save a par. Oh my God. Oh well, this is a rec level disc golf, and to be honest, a 440 foot hole is a par 4 for me anyway, so I'll take what I can get. All right, that's gonna do it for this video. Let me wrap up with my thoughts on really all these discs. Okay, I found a shaded area to talk about these discs. We're gonna go last but not least with the Fairway Drivers, but let's just start real quick with the Jackrabbit. This is a slightly overstable putter. It's somewhat slow. It's not as aerodynamic as a number of other putters out there. It does have a flat top, and this has been a really good throwing putter for me and very serviceable as a putting putter. I still would prefer something more like a penny putter or a Jackrabbit if I were going Lone Star, but very useful. And I do know some pros like Lisa Fakis putt with this, for example. There's probably others that come to mind, but that's a really good approach disc, and I particularly like it in this Victor 2 plastic. It's the more stiff of the two plastics. It floats, which is very, very trustworthy in my opinion. Makes it very high demand on a number of the courses that I play. Next up is a Harpoon. This is the first one that I bought. I actually bought a Glow Armadillo, but this one I bought a month or more ago, and very flat, very, it's definitely approach disc slash mid-range, you know, category. Definitely stable. I would say it's more stable than a Zone, just in my opinion, and that's this base or medium grade plastic that floats. Now what we're all really here for, the Mockingbird and the Frio. I like both of these discs a lot. I can tell you that for my particular game as a sub 300 foot thrower, this would get a lot more use for me, particularly for distance. The size of the rim is a 7-speed rim. Could almost be 8-speed, but it's at least a 7-speed rim. And it's domey, which I like. I like for backhand throwing drivers to be domey because they accentuate the movement in the air, which tends to let them travel farther in either direction. And so I like this a lot. As you know, Sean's been bagging one that we got from Chris Bar Dives for well over a year. I threw it for a while, but I gave it to Sean because I knew he needed a disc like that. So I love it, but I've been getting more distance with this. Now with regard to this Frio, this is a beefy boy. In my hands, this is not a 7.5 -1.1 disc. This is effectively a T-Bird. It's got a T-Bird sized rim. You know, Athena, that whole class, 7-speed, overstable. Not very overstable, but it is overstable. Brand new, premium plastic version. This is definitely one you want to buy maybe a Bravo, or maybe even a Delta plastic and beat it in for a bit, and then buy one of these as maybe a more stable version of that. Therefore you have a flatter flying one and this one. As you know, I throw FDs a lot. This is significantly more beefy than my FD or even my TL. This is definitely T-Bird category, and that does not make it bad. That makes it very useful for this type of disc. The T-Bird style Fairway Driver is among the most popular slot out there simply because nearly everyone can throw it and it corrects. And if you look at that dome, this is great for the forehand. I don't have a forehand of the caliber that could throw these well, But if I did, I would probably throw the Frio more than the Mockingbird, simply because this has the flatter flight plate and it feels more like directional. I don't know how else to explain it, but when I throw a sidearm, if it's flat, I feel like I've got a better lock on the angle that I'm putting it on. Whereas if it's domey, I feel like it's off a little bit. That doesn't make them bad, it just makes it in my hands, and I'm not a very discerning character. That's where I slot these two. This is definitely a long distance flyer for me. It's not as understable in my hands as the numbers suggest, but it's definitely a farther flying disc than a 7-speed in my hands. This is equivalent to a 9-speed, and this is more equivalent to a T-Bird, which is still a great disc. All right, the wind's kicking up and I'm starting to ramble here. I want to thank everyone for watching this lengthy video here. Please like and subscribe, and have a great day.